Hello! Today's topic is really interesting for me, and I think it should be for you also. And that is trying new things and learning new shit. You see, why I'm making this video on this topic is like the reason behind it is that I think it's really necessary for your life to move forward and progress as you move forward in your journey, and you need to be able to adapt and change your systems and way of thinking constantly. And for that you will need to try new things, which is really crucial part of your life. And the way I see it, there is really like the people are really on a spectrum, and on one side there is order and other side there is chaos, or you could say masculine and feminine energy. And all people are somewhere between these two, and they have potential to do both of these, to do like things that have both of characteristics of either of those two. But some people are much more inclined towards order, and some are inclined much more towards chaos. And like in the context of trying new things, it's really important to differentiate between like if you really need to try new things and if you really need it. And what I mean by that is that some people are trying new things constantly, and their problem is actually sticking to something for a longer time and seeing if they can actually do something with it, because they always like change what they are interested or what are they trying to do constantly, because they have new ideas and are trying new shit all the time. And that can be really beneficial because you can try out lots of things and you can see what you like and what you want to do in your life. However, it comes at the great cost of being constantly fractured between many things and not being able to focus on one thing and be great at one thing. However, you should really be able to do both of these things. You should be able to walk the line between order and chaos. And that's the best place to be in. And finding a balance between these two is really crucial, should be really crucial for you in your life. Because you need to be able to constantly look for, not constantly, but you need to be able to look for new things or better things, or for ways how to adapt even the one thing you are trying to do. Like for example, if you if you are for example if you are trying to get like huge body to by working out, like if you want to be bodybuilder, then you will approach it differently as time goes on. You will not do same shit as you did at the start, when you are your third year in working out. You will work completely different. You will work out completely differently. At least I hope so, because you will know much more, and that's why you should not be afraid of trying new things. Because if you would, for example, work out the way you did at the start, you wouldn't get much. You wouldn't get like that better results, because the way you worked out at the start sucked ass because you didn't know shit. That makes complete sense to me. But you wouldn't know that if you didn't stick to it for 3 years. So that's what I'm trying to tell you by walking the line between these two. Because if you take this example, you need to be orderly enough to be consistently going to gym for 3 years and working out regularly, but you need to be also open-minded to new ideas how to work out better, and that will serve you in the long run also. So you need both. You cannot really be one-dimensional being that's based only in order or in chaos. And I know many people that are much more inclined to one or the another. Like, for example, people that are constantly enveloped by fucking chaos and doing drugs all day and trying new shit all day and then just fucking blaming it on others when they fail. And it's like only because of the way they are trapped in this fucking chaotic bullshit of constantly needing to be what the fuck is the word I'm trying to say? Constantly needing to be stimulated by new things, by new drugs, by new combination of drugs and shit like that. And they think they are the freest people in the world, but in truth they are the most trapped, because their own mind traps them. And if you look at the other side, then you have people that are constantly constrained by their rules, and they cannot even fucking fathom to try something new, because it doesn't go. It doesn't. What the fuck is the word I'm trying to say? It doesn't align with their way of thinking, so therefore it must be wrong, right? And I know people like that from both sides of the spectrum, and you must trust me, it's not a really enjoyable life. That's why I'm like making this video. And yeah, for this part that should be enough. I think I told you why you should try to be balanced much more in these things. What I can try to do also is that maybe I should give you some reference to see which side are you more inclined to, and maybe trying to give you some advice what to do with that. So how do you know if you are much more order oriented? It's like not that hard. You are really obsessed with rationality and rules, and you really need to do everything by rules, and you constantly are trying to like convey your feelings in rational thinking, which is not really that possible, because feelings are irrational in their existence. Like, yeah, like feelings are just irrational. They don't have any rationality behind them, if you don't count the biological effects which causes the emotions. And another like mark that you may be a little bit more order side, is that it's really easy for you to build rules and to like keep order at your home and clean and shit like that. But it's way harder to try new things, which is really like, that's usually how you know it. If you are like really scared to try new shit all the time, and if you are scared of rules that ban things like that, you can tell that you are much more orderly. And this one is really great. way to know, but it's a little bit on negative side, and it is when your systems fail and you get thrown into total fucking chaos, you feel totally lost. And that's like how you know that you are much more on the masculine side of things and you are not really touched with your femininity or your chaotic side. Because people that are much more feminine based or chaotic, they fucking thrive in chaos. They fucking love it. But if you are in place in your life where you don't know what the fuck is going on and you feel so stressed out about it, that's how you know that you are much more on the masculine and orderly side. And by the way, I do not want you to take like this masculine and feminine to be only like these things are not constrained by gender at all. It's much more by like characteristics of one things. That's what describe them, because there can be really masculine females and really feminine males, but all people have both of these sides. Just some people have much more dominant one side than the other. And yeah, that's for the orderly or masculine side. And like advice I can give you guys, that's that like have these characteristics, is that you should maybe try to get in touch with your feminine side and like try new things, be a little chaotic sometimes, but just don't get lost into fucking chaos. And that's the important part, because it can get real bad. But the thing about like chaos is that there are great things to be found there, because creativity is chaotic also, and you really want to be creative in your life, because in my opinion everybody has capability to be creative. It's just like everybody has capability to be orderly or chaotic, and creativity is really a great way to like make things into existence, like make your thoughts and your ideas into existence. That's why like being being sometimes chaotic doesn't have to be detrimental. And that's my advice also to people that are much more orderly. Maybe try to be a little more. You need to get in touch with your feminine side. It's like you need to start to think a little bit differently and start doing new things, because you can get inspired in ways you would not even thought of before, because you cannot think ideas that are so different from the way you are thinking right now by yourself. It doesn't make sense, because the way you are thinking will usually create ideas that are much more aligned with yours, like with your preferences. Like you will think of orderly ideas, but you need to like think a little bit differently to be able to be creative, because sometimes you just need ideas that are totally from the point of view you wouldn't never fucking think of, and that can be like life-changing idea for you. So there's that. Try new shit and don't be afraid of trying new things. That's my advice for orderly people, for really orderly. I think most of people are a little bit more between, but I know some extreme cases on either of these of those sides. So, and for more feminine and chaotic people, maybe I should, like, you can tell that you are that by having bigger proclivity towards irrationality and free-spirited thinking. Like, you do random shit all the time, and you are much more open to trying new things and ideas, and it comes much more naturally for you than the orderly types. And you are much more spontaneous and affected by feelings. And trying new things is much easier for you. It's like really second nature for you. But what is really hard for people like this is holding focus on one thing and sticking to it for a longer time. It's because you are much more inclined to trying new shit constantly that you cannot really hold focus on one thing. And the trying new things constantly is also like, it's really high. It's really it's really great feeling because it alleviates your dopamine levels all the fucking time, and you feel really great doing it. And then you have to fucking stick to something, and that's like, what fuck, this shit is so boring. I did it for a whole fucking month. Like, what the fuck? I don't want to do it. I don't want to do something else. So yeah, there are a lot of people like this, and I am actually one of them. I think I am much more inclined to chaotic and feminine side, because sometimes I can get really fucking wild. That's why I also chose to make my rules and fucking routines to keep me in check. And like, that's the advice I will give to you people also, to people that have much more bigger problem with sticking to one thing, and that is that you should really try to stick with ideas, and you should try to make systems of your own rules which you will adhere. And adhering is really important part, because if you make systems of your rules which you will not adhere, they are completely useless. You don't even need to do that. So I want you to be honest to yourself and do what you promise to yourself. And it can be hard, and you will fail, like, I know for sure, but as long as you will not give up, it should be good. And that's also what I did, because I'm much more chaotic in nature, and I needed to make rules for myself, and like routines and shit like that, to keep, to like not do stupid shit all the time. Because as if I would let myself go, I would fucking end up under a bridge in fucking month, I think. Because I would constantly try to do new fucking stupid drugs and shit, and it wouldn't end well, you can say. And like, basically what I'm trying to say to you is, try to do exact opposite of what your affinity for one or the other side of the spectrum goes. So if you are really orderly, you should try something really chaotic. However, not something that will be like fucking doing drugs. It's chaotic, of course, but don't do that. Like, do, because everything new can be chaotic. That's just the way it is. Everything is hard at the start, and you don't know shit, so you are in complete chaos. And if you are much more chaotic, maybe you should try to give your life some order and some ground rules that you will have your basics for, on which you can stand, and and get up when you get lost in your fucking in one of your chaotic journeys, you can say. And that can be anything, like exercising, journaling, fucking recording videos, for me, you can say. So basically try to do exact opposite of what your proclivity is. I hope it does make some sense, actually. I feel like I'm just rambling at this point. Oh, there is also one really important part about all this, and it is which role plays in your environment in all of this picture. And that is actually a very big role, because when I was child, I would think that I am much more orderly, but that was only because my parents forced me to do everything. And when this force disappeared, I stopped doing everything, and I end up in total fucking chaotic hell, in my personal chaotic hell. So the way you will look, the way you can identify your affinity for either of those sides is you should really look at your actions when you are alone and not forced by outside factors. And you should like really look at the experiences in which you are really you and not being affected by other people, for example, like partners or friends or even family, like partners or friends or parents, and many other forces from outside. Or if you are, for example, because of your work, you are much more orderly oriented because you have to, because they just do most of the works today. You have to come up at the exact same time every day and do usually the similar things every day, if you are not lucky enough to be in some creative work. And then you may think that you are much more oriented, but when you are alone and you do absolute fucking chaos, then maybe that's something else. You have to think about it a little bit. I think at this point I'm just saying random stupid shit, so I'll fucking end the video before it gets too bad. So yeah, what I want you to get from this is, based on which side are you more inclined inclined to, order or chaos, you should maybe think about trying much more new things, or rather sticking to one thing for a little bit longer and not trying all of the fucking shit at the same time. And that's the summary of this video, you can say. And I think that will be pretty much all for this. So bye bye, see you in the next one. Have a nice day.